Tonight, we give you our grades on your picks for the Echo Startup Draft. Remember, it is just our average opinions. And as always, it is time to get average. What is going on, guys? I know you guys are usually used to seeing a different face running the show, a different opening video, whatever you want to call it. But the Average Bros are taking over Wednesday night just for this week. But as always, we are the Average Bros Fantasy Show, your one-stop shop for average advice, brought to you by Football Darts and Fantasy Sports Alliance. As always, I am joined by my brother, Kevin, that guy. How you doing?
How you doing, bud? Glad to see you over here on a Wednesday night special edition of the Average Bros.
I feel like I'm in unknown territory. I feel like I'm trespassing. It's like I walked into somebody's house and I just took my shoes off, sat on their couch, put my feet up on the table, and I'm making myself at home here.
I would have to agree.
And we have Stan out there saying, "What's up, guys?" Stan, how you doing tonight? I'm hoping that we can make this show as entertaining as you and Brian do on Wednesday nights. But as always, before we get into our show tonight, we would like to thank our broadcast sponsor, Football Darts. Football Darts is a dart game that combines the skill of traditional darts with the strategies of American football. This innovative dart game is played on a uniquely designed multiple target dartboard. It can be played in sports bars, at tailgate events, as league tournaments, or as a leisure activity in the comfort of your home. If you'd like to check out their officially licensed collegiate dartboards, go to footballdarts.com, as well as make sure you guys use code IPLAYFSA. Get yourself 30% off and get yourself some above average football darts dartboards. And if you guys like the show, please like, share, and subscribe to the show, and follow us on all of our social media outlets you see here at the bottom of the screen and all over the screen, as well as check out our website, fsa-fr.com. And of course, please head on over and check out Brad, Josh, and Eric on the Empty Wagon Show Saturday morning at midnight Eastern Standard Time. So also, before we get into the show, I think we said we wanted to do something special for Brian tonight. I know he's been going a little bit crazy over the past some time now. He has the new position at work, so I think that is a huge congrats to him. Do you have any words that you want to say on the matter?
Yes, for those of you who live under a rock and may not be in our Discord chat, first off, get over there. That's where all the fun is happening at. But Brian has since the last episode, I believe, now taken over as first sergeant. Within the Army, his second time within the role, taking on a lot more responsibility, a lot more headaches as he progresses in his Army career. So we thank him not only for his service within the Army and taking on a greater role there, but all that he does at FSA at the same time, balancing the two. I know is no easy task. So that's why you get both of us here on a Wednesday night instead of Brian giving him the night off to prepare for the actual change of duties that will be happening tomorrow. So good luck and congrats again, Brian. And hope to see you again soon on a Wednesday night.
Yes, as much as I like, going into new territory, being here on a Wednesday night, I do love hearing Brian's voice with all of his knowledgeable things that he says on your guys' show. But I definitely wanted to do something for Brian just to show that we appreciate everything that he does outside of FSA as well as inside of FSA. So little bit of a kiss butt moment for me. I get
And that takes us to why everybody is tuning into us. And remember, if you're not watching us live on Facebook, YouTube, or on Twitch, you can always go back and re-listen or to all of our draft breakdowns on a podcast version wherever you get your podcast for your listening pleasures, commonly found on Apple, Google, Amazon. We're now on Pandora, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Spreaker, Anchor, and all that good stuff. But tonight we get into something a little bit different. We've already reviewed the rookie drafts from the second year dynasties. Tonight we start the startup draft for our Echo Dynasty. Josh, I know that we were definitely interested watching this to see how things roll out from an outsider's perspective, as well as for yourself a little selfishly ahead of your Foxtrot, which we will get into next week. But very interested to see how this thing plays out. I know right off the bat you've got a few questions. So
yeah, I definitely have a couple of nitty gritty opinions about some of these picks, but pretty much just like you said, it's very interesting to view the drafts as a outsider, being as I was a part of Charlie's startup draft. I did get the privilege of joining in on Foxtrot this year, so I still got my good fix of startup drafts.
Eric from the Empty Wagon chimes in with us and says, "Hey guys," he asks us, "Is Rashard Penny droppable in Dynasty? Please discuss, and also greetings from Kansas." I'm not sure what you're doing in Kansas. Didn't know there was anything in Kansas, so I would tell
Besides
you
the
to have
Chiefs.
fun, but I don't know if you can. As far as Rashard Penny being droppable in Dynasty, I'm just going to go and say yes. I don't ever see a need for him to be in any lineup. I don't know why you would want to stash him. I don't see him ever coming up. So, and he
He
says
plays
he's on a family road trip.
he plays for Seattle still, correct?
I believe so. I believe that's who stepped in behind Chris Carson,
Well, I know that
who again can't stay healthy. But
but they also have a bunch of new guys there as well. Anyways, I know they had, what was it, Homer, DJ Dallas. They had a
yeah,
couple of guys to back up Carson. But with Carson back, I don't really see a need for him. I feel like you could get a bigger bang for your buck with the free
and
roster
and
spot.
they really also don't run much in general anyway. So
Yeah, I mean they end up having to put up a decent amount of points anyways.
right.
So they're always just throwing.
So while we're on the topic of running backs, at 101 of our Echo startup draft, we do have running back in Christian McCaffrey. Thoughts on that one, bud?
Plain and simple. It's either Christian McCaffrey here or Patrick Mahomes. I personally would have taken CMC here because I'm a huge believer of the running back drop off after the first 2 to 3 rounds. So definitely can't go wrong with taking either or. So it's a good pick in my book.
Yeah, I like CMC here. I think that this will probably be the last year that you see him going this high in a dynasty draft. I think that coming off the 2 injuries from last year is going to start to catch him, as well as the age playing a factor. If you start to see rookies and second year guys step up and be serviceable, he may start to fall down the chain a little bit. But as far as I'm concerned, CMC outside of 1 or 2 quarterbacks is the correct 101 here. So A plus.
And real quick, before we get too deep into all this, we have MJ chiming in saying, "Brian, enjoy your day tomorrow. Congrats to you and all your hard work and service. Signal near and dear to this Army family. Thank you for all you do for FSA. Enjoy your evening off." I 100% agree. And we have Eric saying, "Thanks, gents. Alvin Kamara over CMC." 100%.
I mean, but not 100%. You said that you liked CMC here. Would you have taken Kamara 101
I am
from the Saints fan?
I'm a huge trend follower, so I know that, and we would definitely get into it with this next pick. But if you're 101 or 102, you're taking either CMC or Kamara. Or not Kamara. You're taking either CMC or Mahomes. It's just set in stone right now.
So what you're saying is Eric is wrong.
Eric is not wrong. I mean,
Well, you have to pick. You can't pick both sides of the fence here, pal.
Okay, then I'll
you got to
take
make
it.
a decision.
Okay. I'll play the game. I have 101. I'll trade back. I'll trade back to 104, 105. I'll take CMC 104 or 105. Not CMC. Kamara. My head is back and forth here.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Well, we'll see if it stays like that for the rest of the night, because I'm going to ask you again once we get there. That brings us up to
I was going to say, yeah, 102. You can lead off with your opening statement here.
So 102, A+, Josh Allen over the 103 pick, who you believe should have been taken in this, as per our off-air dialogue. Josh Allen, I believe, moving forward will be the next big thing. I see him, and I've been very open with this, as the top quarterback this year. I think he just gets better and better. If you take a look at his numbers, he has, since coming into the league in 2018, he has more rushing touchdowns than Lamar. He has more rushing touchdowns than Ezekiel Elliott, and his arm strength and accuracy is only getting better as he progresses with his team. He doesn't have the freakish athletic ability as Mahomes does, but his overall playability is there.
I'm sitting here.
If you're trying to challenge me on that, he has 25. Zeke has 24.
47. Okay, so if you want to get, if we're going into stats, okay, if we're going into stats here, Mahomes, more passing yards, more touchdowns, less interceptions. Let me take a look at rushing.
You got to think that this is also a dynasty. I'm talking the next 2 to 3 years. I think that Allen's ceiling goes up where Mahomes plateaus at where he's at.
So you're basically saying that Allen has the ability to shoot for over 500 points in a season.
I don't think Mahomes has hit over 500.
No, they were 2 and 3. Allen was 2. Mahomes was 3. Like I said,
Aaron Rodgers was number 1 last year, right?
Yes, Aaron Rodgers was number 1 by like 2 points and some change.
Yeah, I believe, regardless of what the total point is, that Allen will be the better fantasy quarterback and outscore all of those you had mentioned.
Being Mahomes.
Yes.
So I'd call you crazy on that.
You can call me crazy all you want.
I would definitely call you crazy.
MJ says she's going to disagree with me. I'm okay with that, because that just means that you are going to drive down his ADP, which would make me very happy in upcoming drafts if I can get him any cheaper. So I'm okay with that.
I can't see myself taking Mahomes over Allen. It's for this year. I mean, next year maybe. If Allen proves me wrong and scores higher than Mahomes.
That's the thing, is this is a dynasty. You do have to look at the progression in years. Does it come up on top to where Mahomes stays flat at that 3-4 range overall, where Allen moves up from 3 to 2 to 1 in the next couple of years? So, and Eric says he agrees Mahomes over Allen, so he's on your side here, but he does see a side with Allen.
I can definitely tell you it is as close as it can get. They are the same age, pretty much bare even on stats. The only thing that pulled Allen away from Mahomes in points is Mahomes sat out week 17. Um, like I said, I would take Mahomes here.
So I do have to point something out here because we are trying to look at it a little unbiasedly as we are judging other people's teams here. And MJ chimes in and says that Mahomes is on her team and she won the championship this past year, which is correct. She did win in Delta. She's the Delta champion. Unfortunately, in Dynasty, to win that progressive pot and looking forward, you do have to win 2 years in a row. So if Mahomes does drop off, which I am predicting that he does, that Allen's can surpass him where you don't win back to back to capitalize on the progressive pot. So that's what I'm looking at overall is a dynasty quarterback. Moving forward the next 3 years, I
And
believe Allen is the better quarterback.
well, and that's why I brought age into it too. They're both 25. I believe they both came out of the same draft class with being the same age. So I think either or you can't really go wrong here. But like I said, at the end of the day, if I see Mahomes going at 102, 101 in each draft, I'm going to take Mahomes at 101, 102. But
All right, so we get past the 102 and 3 to 104, another quarterback in the mix, Kyler Murray.
this one is a little bit of an oddball. Little bit of an oddball. Yes, it is a super flex. However, if I'm not getting, I will say if I'm not getting Allen, Mahomes, Herbert, or Lamar in the first round, which Lamar is a little bit of a question mark. I probably wouldn't take Lamar. I'm going running back. So 104, I'd have went running back here. My personal opinion.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about so the reason why we pulled up the grid here is so you could see the runs, right? You see everything being color coordinated, and you already see 2 quarterbacks off the board. Maybe your fear is another couple are coming off behind you, and this is a go get your guy type mentality. So you want to go up and get the better quarterback. I do believe I would take Kyler over Lamar. I'm just not a Lamar fan. Never really have been. Um, I'm also not a Dak guy either, but um, he did have a astounding first half of the season last year before the injury, so I could see where people put him a little bit higher. I'm just not on that train, not yet anyway. So I don't mind the pick here, but I do agree with you. I think running back could have been smart as well, especially with the pick right behind him, 105. Saquon having a full year off, getting hurt early, early
If
in the year, having a full year to recover. So that might have been the smart move to go here, but I
if,
still give it a B.
if we're Kyler Murray going here, I'd give it a solid borderline B to A, like B plus, A minus kind of thing, because
Yeah.
you can't go wrong with Kyler Murray. I do definitely think this is one of those go get your guy kind of moments here, with especially drafting early in the first, so you have a while to wait till your second pick. So I it's not terrible. I've seen
And
worse picks.
you also have to remember he does get a revamped offense as well. I don't know if they gave him much offensive line help, but they do give him more receivers to dish the ball out to in AJ Green and oh god, now I'm blanking on the other guy.
Hopkins,
Christian,
Christian Kirk,
yeah, there's another one. I'm blanking on his name, but they added a 4th guy.
Artega Whiteside, or
No, that he's
uh,
on the Eagles. Well, Rondell Moore, the rookie.
oh yeah, yes, Eric helps us out with our lack of football knowledge.
Yeah, we don't have a stat guy tonight. You can't really blame us. Somebody took the night off. Yes,
So,
in the draft, the rookie.
is there anything else that you want to add on to the Kyler Murray pick?
No, I think it's solid. Not didn't go wrong there, but personal draft choice could have directed you in a little bit of
Yeah.
a different field here. That brings us to 105, the second running back off the board, Saquon Barkley.
I don't like it. I don't
You
like it.
don't like Saquon?
I don't like it because of the two fellas behind him. You have Dalvin Cook and Alvin Kamara both sitting there waiting to be drafted.
So
Now,
we'll do the whole run here, right? We see the huge we'll see the huge blue spot here on the
the
grid.
sea of blue
So
right
you have
there.
so you have 105 Saquon, 106 Dalvin Cook, 107 Alvin Kamara, 108 Derrick Henry. So you're saying you would rearrange these?
I would. So I would do Kamara, Cook, Barkley, Henry,
Mm-hmm.
and I think this is a little crazy because we're definitely going to get into it when we get into Foxtrot, but I
So
actually
so basically, all you're swapping is Kamara and Barkley.
yeah.
Okay.
I definitely would have went Cook or Kamara with this pick. And like I said, we'll get into it when we get into Foxtrot because I actually took Barkley over Kamara in Foxtrot. Cook was already taken. I believe Henry was still on the board. He might have been taken, but I wasn't going to take him anyways. But I still managed to get Kamara in that draft as well.
So Saquon coming off the injury, couple new weapons come into play there. They're in a win now type mode. They think that Danny Dimes is the way to go. They're getting behind him. He's improving. The NFC least as it is already. You got to think that he's going to return back to form.
I think yes. So I think Saquon will settle back in. Like he never left. But I don't even want to talk about Danny Dimes. I mean, the NFC least, that's anyone's division. I mean, shoot, Fitzpatrick might have a chance to win a Super Bowl now going to that division. So,
I wouldn't go that far, but the division maybe, yes.
oh, yeah. Well, yeah, I'm sorry.
You
He'll win a
overshot it there a
division.
little bit, bud. You overshot it there, bud. You went right for the top dog. Jeez.
Oh,
You're
wait. No,
starting
yeah.
to scare me.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. He has to go through Brady to
That
get
is very
to,
correct.
just to get into the Super Bowl. Then he's got to go through Mahomes.
You shut your mouth. So then we get into 106, Dalvin Cook. I think this is a heads up pick here. I think that the only swap for me here would have been Kamara, maybe, but Kamara is a question mark because of the quarterback situation. You really don't know what the offense is going to look like. Are they going to be more dump off to Kamara? Are they going to do more run and gun? Does his pass catching ability out of the backfield, or do those shares drop down at all? You really don't know. You don't know who your starting quarterback's going to be. They really haven't announced it. It's believed to be Jameis, 30 for 30 Winston, but Taysom might play football is still there. So we don't know how that looks. So I believe Cook is a smart take
I
here as he is consistent.
I would have to agree. Cook is the safer bet here. But then again, I mean, Cook was that, it's either Cook, Jefferson, or Thielen kind of week. So there's that. Kamara to me just seems like a high risk, high reward kind of pick. You can't go wrong with it. He was the top running back last year. So either or at the 106 is going to be a really good pick.
And then we go down to Derrick Henry. I think the reason why he continues to fall down people's boards and stay on the lower end, although the production is there, just because people are trying to predict ahead of the curve of when the drop off comes. We've seen it before, time and time again, with your Todd Gurley-esque type of players, your Le'Veon Bells. How long can you be the bell cow, right? You rush for 2,000 yards. Is that really replicable year over year? Can you do it again and again? Especially now I know this would have been done before the trade, but now you have Julio there, so you improve on your pass catchers. You extend that out a little bit. Do they change their game plan and pull back the reins on Derrick Henry? So I think he falls right in this range just because we talked about before. The drop off once you get past him is quite steep and a little bit unpredictable. So I believe he is still going to be in that upper echelon. So I don't hate the pick here. I may have gone tight end here, to be honest.
I would have probably said quarterback here. I mean, you could. I would either say go quarterback or go Jonathan Taylor here. I'm not a huge fan of Derrick Henry because pretty much just like what you said, you don't know when those knees are going to give out on him and when the workhorse is going to break down.
I mean, although if he does start to fall, those knees give out. He pulls a Big Ben and they start to go loose. He can just like hang on somebody. He's got that stiff arm. Just hold somebody under there like a crutch.
I should say he's gonna use what was it? Who was the one cornerback that everybody just talked to him stiff arm?
White. Was it
Sherman?
White from the Bills?
Oh, Tre'Davious White.
Yeah, he helicoptered him.
Yeah, he'll just use him as a crutch to get him to the end zone.
Eric comes back and gives us his lineup, and he says Kamara, Henry, Cook in a half-point PPR, which is what we are, all good choices. JT and Zeke after that, depending on how much you put value on age. And I believe that's exactly how it falls. Ish. I don't know where Zeke went.
Zeke was it. I think it took a while for Zeke. Fourth round, he went to the Warbirds alongside Barkley.
So there was a drop off to Zeke. I think it's the up and down of that offense. You just don't know what you're going to get with them being healthy. I know we'll get into that because that is a little surprising. I didn't see how low he had fallen, but Derrick Henry, not a bad pick here, as we agreed.
Yeah.
Then you get into your run of quarterbacks again, another 3 off the board. 109, Dak Prescott. 110, Herbert. And then 111, Lamar Jackson.
I'm going to give the Prescott pick it's not a decent grade. I would say about a C here. I would say a C because Herbert is still there.
I would agree. I think that the only reason why Herbert and Lamar went next is because of the Dak pick. I think they started a quarterback run on Dak. They might have readjusted, knowing that now you're talking about the 4th and 5th quarterbacks off. I'm not a fan of either one, the Dak or Lamar pick here. I think that they could have got them in the turn. If you're talking about coming back around, he could have swept Jonathan Taylor out here at 111, and then at 2-2, taken Lamar.
Either Lamar or another quarterback. I mean, there's obviously at this point, there's still a decent amount of quarterbacks to take here that you can get good value for.
Eric says at 111 for Lamar as a steal. He scored 421 points 2 years ago. Yeah, the issue is that this is a what have you done for me lately type of league, right? You're talking about the future, not the past. I mean, if that was the case, then you wouldn't see Tom Brady going in the 3rd round. I mean, there's multiple years where he's put up higher performances, but people are trying to predict the downfall. So people are already doing that with Lamar as well. They don't think that he's going to come back up and find his range within the pass game, as well as them mixing it up with all kinds of running backs, J.K. Dobbins being one of them, out of the backfield. So I think I'm right there with Lamar. I think that here's not bad. I give it a C, but I would have waited to the turn.
I think the Lamar pick was 100% just following the run that was going.
Yeah. I do,
But
however, like the Herbert pick. 110. I give that an A right there.
oh yeah, I definitely give it an A. Especially in a dynasty, I think you can't go wrong. Whether he falls back this season and does a 12 to 24 range, which I highly doubt he will do, it's a dynasty, so he's definitely only going to go up from here.
Then
But
at
that
112, we already kind of touched on it a bit. Jonathan Taylor, not bad. Kind of worries me a little bit that they brought back all of the running backs there, as well as a more pass-centric focus, bringing Carson Wentz over and aging Philip Rivers. So you don't know what the workload is going to be like, but he is an absolute beast. So I do expect him to be high. I just don't know how high. I think that right here at 112 is about expected out of this.
I think so. I think late first round is definitely where he should be. And I'm pretty much in the same boat as you. They bring back all the same running backs. They're healthy off of injury, and your grid's back, and you just don't know what it's going to be like week one. I mean, he could get 100% of the workload. It could be a a committee kind of thing where it's just 50-50. You don't know.
Then we run into the next set of quarterbacks here. 201, Trevor Lawrence. 203, Burrow. Then 204, Russell Wilson. A little bit of surprise to see him drop off that far. Gotta think that age takes a factor with that pick, letting him drop. But being that he already had Dak to take Russell Wilson there, not bad. A good 1-2 punch. But
So just
you gotta think you could have got more value someplace else, sir.
Just to clarify the blank there, that is Nick Chubb. Yes, there was a trade for the 203 between the Fire and the Hawaiians.
Now he got back to this 4, correct?
It was a 5. I believe it was.
5, yeah.
It was a 5th round pick, a 22nd round pick, and then 2 future picks for the 203.
Yeah. So to read that back, you have Trevor Lawrence, Burrow, Nick Chubb, then Russell Wilson.
Yes. As far as the Trevor Lawrence pick, I'm not really high on it. I think this was way too early to take a rookie QB. Yes, it's a dynasty, and yes, he's a starter. But I think you could have gotten somebody else. I mean, you have Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady. All those quarterbacks are still there. Or shoot, you could have even went with another running back here. You could have went with Nick Chubb here.
I think the issue is that you got to remember when these drafts took place, you're coming right off the heels of the NFL draft. So hype is still very high around all of your rookies. The eagerness to draft the rookies, and you got to remember that most drafts, it's probably a 50-50 split. They do a separate rookie draft for this reason. That way you're not skewing where their draft position is. In this case, they're obviously looking very, very young. Jonathan Taylor in his second year. Trevor Lawrence, a rookie, as you mentioned. Then if you look down the list, very, very young looking team in general.
And that's
got to be a focus.
Yeah, that's the thing I noticed about a couple of teams throughout these throughout Echo and Foxtrot is I know a lot of teams are sticking to that dynasty theme, and they are definitely playing the long game. They are definitely looking for players in their first and second years, which it's 100% okay. I mean, whatever game plan you have going into it. It's your
I
game
mean, I
plan.
do. I mean, I do have one issue drafting young, and I want to skip ahead a little bit here, as we are about halfway through tonight's program. I want to skip down to this 309 pick. Your fourth overall pick in the third round. Your second quarterback happens to be Justin Fields. How do you feel about that? Going
I
that
think
young this early?
I think you skipped over an even bigger pick. If you don't mind, I would like to backtrack it a little bit to the two
Yeah.
to the two
Sorry, I
12.
did. I did forget
I
this.
can
Yes, two
I can
twelve.
I
Same type of scenario though.
so I see your Justin Fields. I see your QB. He's the second QB, has the chance to start week 1, and I raise you a starting QB who isn't technically a starting QB, has probably 5% chance to start week 1.
Yeah, and
I
if you take a look at the other quarterbacks on his team, I mean, he could have been picked way later and moved that value up. I mean, Matt Stafford, Ben Roethlisberger, Derek Carr. I mean, not great overall to
I
take Trey Lance that early. Flacco, who's a backup, and then Trubisky.
I try not to be harsh on like the grades and stuff, but I definitely gave this grade like a D, just because
Yeah,
I think you could have either went a different position here, maybe a receiver, because I know receivers are very deep this year, or you could have just went a different quarterback, Tom Brady, Baker Mayfield, even Jalen Hurts at this spot,
Ryan Tannehill.
Ryan Tannehill. Uh, there were so many different options that you could have went here. I'm just not too high on taking Trey Lance with your second pick.
And then same type of feel with my pick of the what are you thinking type of deal. You take Justin Fields as your second quarterback off the board, fourth pick in 3 rounds. Didn't have a receiver to date, but it to that point, but had a couple good picks after. Kind of got to be a question mark here, right? Because you still have, even after
So
this loops back around, you still have Hurts, Tannehill. I mean, Cousins, who's not a bad pick there.
the
Stafford, not a bad pick there. At least get a starter. Matt Ryan, who's a habitual good fantasy quarterback.
So the problem that I have here that is actually different from the team we were just talking about is the other team actually still managed to get at least 2 actual starters. If you look at the rest of the quarterbacks that the Fire have, Kyler Murray, Justin Fields, Andy Dalton, and Mills, the rookie that from Houston,
Right.
you
So at
have
least he'll
one
have two.
starter.
So he'll have 2 starters.
Oh yeah, yes, because he got Fields and Dalton. So
Yeah, he
either
did.
or.
He did handcuff Fields and Dalton, so one of them has to start. And then Mills, which is the second. I should say he's labeled as the 1 through 3 guy, right?
Yes.
For Houston, because we still don't know what's going on there with Deshaun Watson and obviously the one long wonder.
Yeah.
I'm blanking on his name.
Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah, Tyrod Taylor.
Uh, so speaking of taking rookies a little too early, I think we should kind of go through the other rookies that we're taking in just the third round alone, I guess you could say. Kyle Pitts, third tight end off the board. I know he's your guy.
Yeah, but I don't like this pick still. I do like Kyle Pitts, but I like Darren Waller more in this spot. If I'm looking at it from that perspective, I would take Darren Waller here if I'm going to go tight end, and then Pitts. But you look at the drop off where the next tight end was taken, all the way in the 6th round.
Yeah.
So you go 2 rounds, no tight ends, and then 6-1, you get Andrews taken. So you got to assume that Pitts could have fallen in one of the next 2 rounds. So where you went and reached on Tyler Boyd, you might have been able to get Pitts there, and then where you took Miles Sanders and reached on him, you could have taken a little bit of a better fill here. You could have taken Najee Harris, which would have been a nice stack, a nice little grouping of rookies.
Yeah, I definitely liked the Najee Harris pick, pairing him with Dalvin Cook. And actually, while we're talking about this team, the one thing I kind of didn't like that this team did was they drafted Dalvin Cook with their first pick and then came back and drafted another Viking in Justin Jefferson. If anybody watched the Average Rose last season, we were constantly talking about how Minnesota was a one-star kind of team. It was either Cook, Thielen, or Jefferson. So having both of them in your starting lineup, one's performing, one's not.
Yep, it's either one or the other. They don't spread the ball around enough for them both to do overly well week over week.
Yeah. But bounced back and got Najee Harris. I'm very high on him. If I wasn't so behind Devontae Smith being rookie of the year, I would definitely say Najee Harris would take it.
So how do you feel about Najee Harris going before Zeke? So you have, out of the running backs, you have, out of the notable misses, I would say, year over year, you have DeAndre Swift, Cam Akers, Najee Harris, J.K. Dobbins, all taken before Zeke.
I mean, Zeke did have a little bit of a drop off, but I was saying week after week last year that Dak was Zeke's power up. When if you saw the games in the beginning of the season when Dak was there, Zeke balled out. Once Dak got injured, that was when Zeke fell off. So I can
and then Zeke also got hurt too.
Yes, and then that's when the whole talks of Tony Pollard being a beast came up and everything. But I can see why people would take these younger guys before Zeke. The problem with Zeke, too, is Zeke got paid. Zeke didn't want to do anything.
Although the thing you have to take into consideration here, we know how deep wide receiver is. You got to think it's a pretty nice first 4 rounds for the Warbirds here. You get Saquon Barkley, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and Ezekiel Elliott.
To me, I said this was a very win-now team for me. And
you could quite possibly right there have 2 top 5 quarterbacks and running backs.
I can agree.
There's a shot at that.
I can agree with win now, but I like a little bit of a balance. I like to have I can take an older quarterback, but then I would like to pair him with somebody younger. So I'm not shopping for 2 QBs at one time.
Well, let's see what he did down here. He's got Tyrod Taylor as his only other quarterback.
Yeah, I'm not too high on that QB room. I'll tell you that now. The running backs, 2 or 3, like maybe even a year ago, you would have 2 first-round picks right there with Saquon and Zeke.
Yep. Even last year it was that way.
And then to follow it up with Josh Jacobs as well. I mean, I know he's probably going to drop off, but I mean, Josh Jacobs still was top 12 last year.
Yeah, so. I like his start here. Could have had a stronger finish if he would have picked up, say, another rookie quarterback, maybe a Mac Jones type or a Trask. If he picked up Trask that's sitting behind Brady, would have been nice.
That would have been a really good pick there. I mean, I think any young QB here that has a promising future would have been good here. Even Zach Wilson. I know you said Mac Jones.
So Zach Wilson went at 6'10", and he actually went ahead of Kirk Cousins, Sam Darnold,
Danny
Fitzpatrick,
Dimes.
Danny Dimes. How do you feel about that?
Um, Kirk Cousins, I think, is the only one I would consider taking before him. But I would definitely take Zach Wilson before Danny Dimes. Darnold is the question mark there because he's on a new team. He has the weapons. I mean, that one is a bit of a toss up.
The next big standout for me here is going to be 408 Austin Eckler, guy I'm not very high on. I don't know why people are putting him up there, but he goes before Antonio Gibson, Mixon, Hilaire, Miles Gaskin, David Montgomery, who was a top 5 running back last year, and Eckler's still up there.
I just noticed that too. I think Montgomery was going to be the next one that I brought up going after Etienne.
Yeah.
But Eckler, I'm in the same boat as you. I'm not too high on Eckler. I definitely would have rather had Joe Mixon, or a healthy Joe Mixon, I mean, and I would have rather had Antonio Gibson over Eckler. Miles Gaskin, I'm not too high on. I haven't really seen too much Philly. Philly's starting to become a San Fran. And
No, so that's Miles Sanders. You're talking.
What did I say?
Yeah, Gaskin. He's out of the
No,
Dolphins.
Yeah. I was set. Miles Gaskin. I can't trust him because I haven't seen much from him. And Miles Sanders is on. I know Sanders is on Philly, and Philly's just becoming another San Fran.
Yeah, they got so many.
Exactly.
So many running backs.
Until they clean out the back shed.
Did he take another one of them? Is my question.
I like the Michael Carter pick. Chuba
and
Hubbard.
Wait too.
No.
No, he didn't take any of the other. I would have tried to at least got the handcuff there in carry on.
Yeah, carry on, my wayward.
Where did he even go? Is the question.
Carry on Johnson. Let's see. I'm looking.
Did he not get drafted?
I see him. Round 21 to the
Jesus.
New York Dragons.
Yeah. 21-10. I gotta say that's great value right there.
I
mean, for a committee guy, if he can stay healthy, I mean, look at the other names that you're talking about there.
Who? I don't care who's drafted by. What team? Boston Scott. He's still on Philly, right?
Yeah. Yes, he is. You're talking about Philly's. So Philly's fourth guy was drafted ahead of their second guy, technically.
Who was the rookie that they took again?
Kenny Gainwell.
Kenny Gainwell. Did he? Why do I have a feeling that he went before? I might be crazy. No, I don't think he did. I don't even think he got drafted at all.
Probably rightfully so.
The other thing that actually stood out to me, I saw his name. Here he is. Round 16, pick 2. Tariq Cohen.
Coming back off an injury.
Has I would assume he's going to be given the chance to get his starting spot back. And if so, getting him.
Think so. They're going to use him. They're going to use him the same way that the Browns use Hunt and
even still, if so, Hunt and Chubb are both top 12. So
Yes, that is correct. Last year, I think they were 9-10 or 10-11, something like that.
So even still, if you can get a top 24 running back in the 16th round, I am 110% behind that.
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple good steals down here running back wise. DJ Dallas, we talked about him at the top of the show when we were asked about Penny.
James Robinson.
Ready to see him.
James Robinson, round 8, pick 9. The man that was considered to be first round talent in the eyes of some people.
The eyes of you.
Going
I'll
in
give
the
you
ninth.
2 first round. I'll give you 2 first round picks.
No,
Enter Etienne.
I don't remember exactly what the trade was, but it was not 2. I think it was.
It was at least 1.
Well, no, I think it was 2. But I believe it was because I had James Robinson and Calvin Ridley in the trade.
I don't know about that there, bud.
And
He even took. Who is this?
What pick are you looking at?
Javonte Williams,
That's the rookie
for
that
Denver.
went to Denver. Yeah.
He even goes 2 rounds ahead of James Robinson.
Just look at everybody behind him. You have Chris Carson. Nobody cares about Trey Sermon in the plethora of running backs that they have. Kareem Hunt.
Chase Edmonds.
Is
And then Fournette.
Is he their guy in Arizona?
Yeah, he is.
See there, yeah.
Kenyon Drake's not there anymore. Kenyon Drake left. You got to remember, he left from there, went to Houston. Now he's with the Raiders. So there's no one else really there with him.
And then you also have Rojo, Mike Davis, Michael Carter.
I think Mike Davis is going to surprise a lot of people.
Yeah, I can see why Mike Davis would fall this far, just because people were like, "Oh, he just came in and did well because of CMC getting injured."
Although I do have an issue with those 2 picks, Fournette and Davis. Those are his first 2 running backs off the board.
Yeah, he really went on a good run for receivers. Which, to be fair, I like his receivers.
Lamb, Michael Thomas, Mike Evans.
I mean, I'm not too high on his first receiver though. CeeDee Lamb.
Smith?
Yeah, that's Devontae Smith. I'm not too high on taking CeeDee Lamb there, especially with Scary Terry still on the board. Who is it? Scary Terry.
Keenan Allen still there.
Allen Robinson.
Michael Thomas, who he ended up getting anyway.
Yeah. Chris Godwin. But then again, he got the other one with Mike Evans. So I like the other 3. I like the Thomas, the Evans, and the Devontae Smith. But I don't like the CeeDee Lamb pick there. And then, I mean, even still, that pick could have been David Montgomery,
who I do like, which I think fell pretty far compared to his numbers last year. I mean, and he's the 22nd running back off the board, so at the bottom end of RB2 when he finished RB5 last year.
And I think the biggest reason for that is just because of Tariq Cohen coming back, and you don't know exactly what.
Well, Cohen coming back, and the other big name running backs coming back off an injury as well. You got to remember, Zeke will probably finish ahead of him. Barkley will probably finish ahead of him. So that pushes him down to 8th right there with just healthy lineup. CMC will be healthy.
I think it was a good pick for the 5th round, pairing him with Aaron Jones. I think that's a solid. Yeah,
that's a
to,
nice punch right there.
no, yeah.
And
To be honest,
I love the Allen Diggs stack. That's my
I
favorite stack going right now.
had it not been for the head scratcher of a first pick with Allen, I still think that in my eyes this is the team to beat here. If I'm gonna pick somebody to go all the way and echo this year, it's gonna be the posse.
I am actually going to have to agree. I can't argue with that. I mean, Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Darren Waller, Aaron Jones, David Montgomery, Matt Ryan, Julio on a fresh team, Kareem Hunt with a steal out of the 8th spot, Tyler Lockett, Curtis Samuel on a new team, Jonnu Smith on a new team, fresh faces there. I don't love this pick of Brown, but in the 12th, you got to figure it's starting to taper off.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, I almost
slowly.
would have gone the guy right behind him. I almost would have gone Corey Davis if you were looking at receiver here
I
over
would have.
Brown.
There's also. I wouldn't say Brandon Cooks because we don't know the QB situation. I would have possibly went McCole Hardman with him
The
being the
word out
number
of camp,
2.
yeah, word out of campus, he's slated to be the number 2 there right now. But the issue there, we all know, is they have so many weapons as is.
That's
2 could be 4 any given week, just
that.
because of the weapons they've got.
Yeah. I don't think Marquise Brown is a bad pick here. With what else, with everything else that he has, I don't think it's a bad pick. Marquise Brown is still considered their number 1 in Baltimore. It's just if they use him or not.
Tariq Cohen, we already mentioned. Ruggs in the 14th.
That's the other thing too that I just noticed is that he does have the handcuff with Montgomery as well.
Yeah. Overall, nice draft here.
He's got the Bowling Green alumni.
This, I think, is going to be a surprising pick for people here. RB61 in round 17. Ramondre Stevenson.
Oh my goodness.
Patriot.
It's another San Fran. It is
They only
another...
have 3. Relax. They only have 3. Well, okay, so they have 4 technically, but we know that if Derek or if Lewis is on the field, that it's a pass.
James White, Ramondre
James
Stevenson,
White, that's right. James White.
Damian Harris. Who else do they have?
Stevenson, Harris, Sonny Michel, White.
Oh, that's one. I was missing Sony Michelle. That's 4 right there.
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh, we know White is just catches out the backfield.
But that's catches
and
away from. That's catches away from another receiver. If you can't.
I'm not talking about receiver. I'm talking about Stevenson is a goal line touchdown guy. He's your LeGarrette Blount. He's your bowling ball. You're right down the middle.
I just don't think it's enough to make a difference.
If you want to be technical, I believe they're going to tag him as a fullback because they don't have James Devlin this year who retired. James Devlin and the other guy they had.
Burkhead.
Dan Vitale. No, Dan Vitale. And Burkhead too. Burkhead is now in Houston.
I mean, shoot. That's your guy. That's your guy. I just think it's another San Fran.
How do you feel about Ertz falling right ahead of him?
Ertz,
tight end 25.
Could be a steal, could be a bust. I mean,
I hope he goes. You already know where I want him to go.
Yes, I think if he goes there, stock goes up.
Yeah, I want him to go to Buffalo.
It's just another weapon
help out my Allen. Oh, I'm actually kind of torn, right? Because most leagues that I have Allen, I have Diggs, so it helps one, hurts the other.
Helps one, hurts the other.
Yes, it really hurts.
And that's exactly, I'm kind of in that predicament with Foxtrot. That's the only reason why I didn't want him to go to Buffalo, is because I have Diggs in Foxtrot as well.
Yeah. Although we shall see. Overall, solid draft out of Echo. I know we're up against time here. Any other mentions that you want to point out? I know we will probably end up doing a highlight again in coming weeks. We could always pick them up throughout the year. For those of you who don't know how to get to the menu, just click the draft button and it'll get you right there.
Yes, just click the draft button, and then at the top, where it says display, if you want to see the pretty colors, you can click grid. If you want to see it in a more uniform, simplified way, you can hit list, which is personally what I like. I know Kevin likes the pretty colors.
Well, the issue is you can't really see runs as well.
That I'm not one to follow runs. I'm the one that misses out on the run once it's already done and over with.
Well, yeah, because you're using that. And then if you take a look at the draft recap, we also have in there some evaluations on the teams, and they ranked the posse number one as well here.
Yes, if I was to rank my favorite team from this draft, it would definitely be the Las Vegas Posse.
I wonder who they put last. Should we look?
I have a feeling I know who it is.
What's your guess?
Yeah. I was right. I saw it and I was right.
What's your guess?
My guess was
you said you already saw it, but
what's your guess before you get to it? Go to the grid and tell me who your guess is.
My guess for worst draft. Well, I was like, Mad Dogs is up there. Fire is up there. This isn't bad. But I gotta pick one. Yeah, I'm probably gonna go with the Fire.
No. It was the Mad Dogs.
Oh. I had a 50-50 shot. And I missed.
So according to the description here, they made their best pick of the draft in round 3, selecting Calvin Ridley, and their worst pick of the draft. I ripped it to pieces during tonight's show. It was taking Trey Lance in the second round. I mean, it's dynasty for a reason. There's always there.
I didn't think that the team that they have at 11 was as bad.
New England.
I wouldn't have them this low. Jonathan Taylor, Trevor Lawrence, AJ Brown, Scary Terry, CEH, Irv Smith, who I like, but I don't like having. Mac Jones, I like. Damian Harris, I like.
So from the description that they gave the Seawolves, they pretty much read in my mind. They said their worst pick was in round 2, selecting Trevor Lawrence. That's pretty much all I'd say about that team. Is just taking Trevor Lawrence way too early there.
Yeah, but 11th for that pick, I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah,
I would have had this worse off.
What team?
The Fire Ants.
I think that for me, their worst pick would have been taking Jefferson alongside Cook. That's like the only thing that really stands out for me.
Any other Anything else you want to point out before we head on out of here?
That is all from me. I'm definitely excited to dive into Foxtrot's draft next week so we can take a closer look at the monstrosity that I have bunched together. Do you have any final words before I get into my spiel?
No, that's about it.
Alrighty then. So I'm going to kick your screen out of here. And before we return to our regularly scheduled Average Bros Fantasy Show on July 13th, which is 3 days before my birthday. So
I know.
yeah, well, not for you, for the people listening and watching. I'll be expecting birthday gifts at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Check out the flagship program with Brian and my brother Kevin on the Fanatically Real broadcast. I would say tomorrow night at. Oh wait, no. Yeah, and now that I think about
You
that, that was a. Check them out next week after our show on Tuesday. So that'll be on the 14th. Listen, new territory. As well as Catch the Empty Wagon guys this Saturday at midnight Eastern Standard Time. And of course, if you guys are unable to watch us live, check us out on Anchor, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, anywhere you can find us for your listening pleasures. Thank you guys so much for watching the Average Bros Fantasy Football Show, sponsored by Football Darts and Fantasy Sports Alliance. If you like the show, please like, share, and subscribe to the show and follow us on all of our social media outlets. And before we head out, I want to thank all of our sponsors: QB54, Monkey Knife Fight, Nature Coast Tailgating, Cranky Veteran Candle Company, Shell & Mel's Boutique, Finger Lakes Mercantile, Southern Sirens Sugar Scrub, Redwood Durables, and of course, the Recasts, who are the official music of the FSA. Kevin, final words.
Damian, Brett, kick rocks, please and thank you.
I can, I leave the whole Kevin and Damian boat alone. I leave the Devin boat alone, but Brett, kick rocks. Kevin, you and everybody else watching, listening, have a great night. Have a great rest of your week, and stay average.